All right, welcome back. So it's been, I don't know, right about 24 hours since I put the white vinegar in there. I'd come out and slosh it around every couple hours or so, but you kind of see what came out of there. It's pretty awful looking. There's a lot of rust particles in the bottom. Let me see if I can show you the bottom of the tank. I'm pretty pleased with how it looks. See if I can get you in there. Don't know if you'll be able to see. See if I can get the flashlight turned on. Don't know if you can see in there, but it is actually pretty darn nice looking in there for a gas tank made in 1980. So I'm going to flush it out with water and maybe put a little baking soda in there to kill the vinegar acid, and I'm going to dry it out, and we're going to put the new sending unit in it, and I'm going to stick it back up in there, and we'll see how close my hole got. Okay, in an attempt to get this tank as dry as possible inside, and I flushed it about 5 times with water until I couldn't see any more particles coming out of it, and it is really clean inside. I'm really pleased with it, but I want to get it as dry as possible, so I'm going to stick one of my shop vacs in it and run it for a while. It's a little Hart shop vac I picked up from Walmart in their Black Friday sale. Got it for 24 bucks and have not regretted it at all. I have a big, like 45-gallon shop vac, and it's just a bear to move around and get it put away, and so I love that thing. When you need more than a hand vac but don't need the giant shop vac, that's been a really nice one. Got good suction, stainless steel container, don't have any complaints with it. Link below, of course. Probably not 24 bucks anymore, but nonetheless, it's not that expensive. And in the meantime, while that's drying, I'm going to cut another access panel because I cut the first one wrong. Don't forget my motto, I do it nice because I do it twice. So, onward and upward. Okay, so it turns out I may be mistaken about the visors. I said they were mislabeled, and they may not be. These may be the correct visors for a CJ-7. My biggest complaint with them was that these mounting brackets were 3.5 inches in too close to fit the stock holes. So I'm told you can just pull the arms out, and I should just pull those out. Well, I'm an ape. I'm 6'4", 220. I actually had to put these in a vise and pull on the visor and twist. They did come out. Each one had to come out roughly 1 3/4 inches. They did come out. Another problem is these metal pinch brackets, which on the stock visors are down below the arms, on these are directly in line with it, and they're going to have to be put to either one side or the other. I don't know what kind of long-term problem that's going to cause. Maybe none at all. I don't know. These are RT off-road visors. It isn't, if these are the wrong ones, it wasn't Dave's fault. Dave looked up their number. We double-checked it. These are the CJ numbers. So these are RT off-road CJ-7 visors. Here's another problem. In Arizona, we fold these up and down multiple times a day because we put sunscreens in summertime to keep the inside of the vehicle from getting to be 1,000,000 degrees inside. So if you got 5-6 stops during a day, you're going to fold these up and down 5-6 times. And they're already moving way easier than they did once. Can you imagine doing that? 5-10 times a day. I've already had to retighten these screws several times. I've been spraying it with silicone spray and WD-40 trying to get those to loosen up, but okay, moment of truth. Gas tank's back up. It's not completely bolted down. It's only held on with a couple bolts and nuts just to kind of keep it in place. All the hoses are on at the gas tank end. I don't know if you can see it, but you can filler hoses are sticking right up there where they belong. I haven't connected the body ends of the lines yet, but that's not that big of a deal. What I want to see now, and I have already looked, and I want you guys to know, I can't even begin to have words to convey how much I hate pulling gas tanks in and out on the ground. It's one of the worst jobs for me. I just dread it. I'd rather do a transmission, honestly. But let's take a look and see how close my hole is. I've already looked, so I already know. But there you go. That is not as good as I'd hoped, but not as bad as I'd feared. You can see maybe the spot welds for the rib here. I could bring this back another 1/2 inch. Honestly, I don't think I am at this point. one of the biggest problems with cutting the hole while the gas tank is in there is you just have no idea where the gas tank is, where the lines are, where you need to cut. Now with this hole in here, if I have to make it bigger, I would know where I need to cut. I could tuck an asbestos blanket or something in under there. I could even pop that out and drain the tank pretty easily. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to think about it overnight. It's getting late afternoon here. It's up in the mid 90s. I'm hot and sweaty. I want to go in. So for right now, we're going to kind of put that there, and we're just going to kind of leave it there for now. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to think about it. So that sucked, but the suckiest part of it is over. I still have to get under it to connect the lines back up, but that's not that awful. And I got one of those new bezels for the filler neck coming too. I got a stainless steel one coming. The old original rubber one's all hard as a brick and cracked. But I think I'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll think about that hole in the meantime. I thought about it overnight, and I think I am going to widen that hole out as much as I can for the access panel for the fuel sending unit. I'm not going to widen it. I'm going to stick with my current access cover that I made. I'm just going to widen it as much as I can and still have that cover work, and then that's where we're going to call it good. So that there's about as much as I'm willing to take out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a row of tack welds right in there that holds the strengthening rib on. And I'm going to come all the way back to those tack welds. That's as far as I can go without taking out that strengthening rib, and I don't want to do that. So, I mean, that's 1/2 inch. That'll get me a little bit more clearance there. Hopefully that will be helpful. Okay, there's my hole cut wider. I smoothed the edges down so you can rub your fingers along it, and I painted it black. Now I've got to replace this wire and the ground wire, and I've got wiring here and ends, and I'm going to make all new wire for it. I also have to do away with the trailer wiring I took off, because I am never planning on pulling a trailer that's going to need lights with this vehicle ever again, and I hate Scotch locks, so I'm just going to take all that off. Okay, there we go. Gas tank's back in. My plate screwed down. I haven't sealed it yet, and to be honest with you, I might not. This is Arizona, not Seattle. Gas tank's all bolted up. I put a new stainless steel bezel around the fuel cap. The old black rubber one was just in crap condition, but then again, you know, it's 42 years old. So there is that. So that fit on really nice. Everything went together about as poorly as I expected it to, but it is back together, and I'm pretty satisfied with the results. I still have to go out and get some gas. Okay, so I just put about 4 gallons of gas in it, which should be right about 1/4 of a tank, maybe a tiny bit more. And let's get it started. Let's get it down off the ramp, since I don't think I'm going to need to be back under it again for any reason. Okay, still sitting up on the ramps, and with 4 gallons in it, we're showing less than 1/4 of a tank. So got to remember, when this thing's pointing downhill, it's going to run out of gas sooner than the gauge would let on. Let me get it started. Let's get it down off the ramps. Interesting. Guessing we just got a bunch of air in the lines. I don't think there's anything else going on. Well, maybe there is something else going on. Don't think I did anything else. Alright, maybe I better check. Okay, that was my fault. I did not undo my poor man's anti-theft device, so let's try again. Oh, that sounds better. Still not right, but let's get it down off the ramps. Okay, so just warming it up here a bit, trying to get the rest of that bad gas out of the lines. You can see even down off of the ramps with 4 gallons in it, I'm still reading slightly less than empty. And what did I say? It was going to run out before it hit empty? I'm exactly wrong. It's still going to have probably a gallon in it when I'm on empty, and I am fine with that, although I think the first few times I drive it, I will have a jug of fuel in the back just to make sure, but I know that that's where it reads with 4 gallons left in it, so I should be fine. Volts are reading 14, which makes me happy. Oil pressure warmed up, and it's a 92 or 3 degree day out right at the moment. So oil pressure is at 40, which makes me happy. And all the lights are working. I still think I've got some old gas in the lines. I may need to run a can of Berryman's through it, but we seem to be working pretty good. I'm not at all unhappy. This is probably the last I'm going to work on this here because of how hot the weather's getting. I'll probably have a few small things to do, but it's about time to get one of those reflective covers and cover this thing up for not just the hot weather, but also the monsoon. I want the cab completely covered when the monsoon hits. So that'll keep the level of moisture in the inside down, and then I can air it out on days when it's not monsooning. But there you go. I'm pretty happy with this whole interior job. Oh, I also did one other thing I forgot to mention, and that is I replaced my black tape there with some of this stuff you get off eBay that just has its own self-stick backing. Actually, I think it looks a lot better than the tape does. It seems to adhere a hell of a lot better than the tape does as well. On the visors, well, I think I've already told you guys what I think of these visors. If I didn't, let me tell you that if all you want to spend is $25 on a visor and you don't mind wrestling them into submission, these RT off-road visors are not bad. They're acceptable quality for $25 visors, and once you wrestle them, they do fit and they do work. If you want a higher quality visor and you want something you don't have to wrestle into submission, then these $25 each visors are probably not going to be what you're looking for. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure did. I'm enjoying the thought of never having to pull a gas tank out again. And I think we're going to move on to other things after this. So, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for using my affiliate links for those of you who have, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.